Hi guys, so we're going to do a bit on foreign exchange. To begin with, just got a little bit of practice, just changing to and from currencies. And then we're going to look at 3 examples more related to what is in the numeracy unit. So here we are told that the exchange rate of pounds to euros is currently £1 equals €1.14. And that was what the exchange rate was as of end of April right now. And then we are told, firstly, to change the following to euros. So to start off with that, got to multiply by our exchange rate, which will give you 6.384 and so on. And because you want it to look like money, we round to the nearest penny or the nearest cent in this case to give us €6.38. Same idea again, take the pounds, multiply it by our exchange rate, which will give you 10.7388 and so on. But we need it to look like money, so we round it to the nearest cent, which is going to be 10.74. So €10.74. Now, if we are multiplying over here, when we do the reverse, so we're changing into pounds this time, because it's the other way round, we do the other way of multiplication. We do the inverse of multiplication, which is just a division. So we divide by that exchange rate this time, which will give us 0.0877 and so forth, rounding it to the nearest penny. It's £35 and 9 pence. Same again here. Oh, don't know why that's dropped so low there. So divide by the 1.14, which will give us, look at the wrong thing there, 11.0526 and so on. Rounding it to the nearest penny is going to be £11 and 5 pence. So that is just a quick little recap on how to do the exchange rate. Now let's look at what the numeracy questions will be like. So a lot more wording. So Stephen went to France on a holiday. He took €450 to spend with him. So same as before, I'm just going to highlight that because I think that is an important bit of information. And I'm just going to change that colour because that looks a bit grim. Let's do that one. So €450 is what he has total on each of the 6 days he was there. So I think that bit there is important. He spent an average of €54 each day. So every day he was there, he spent €54. On his return, he changed his remaining euros to pounds sterling. The bank would only change money in multiples of €10. So that is going to be an important bit of information there. And then we are given our exchange rate here. And we are then asked, how much in pounds sterling will Stephen get for his remaining euros? Give your answer to the nearest penny. So we've taken out all the key bit of information there. So now we just need to process these numbers. So to start off with, we already know that on one day he'd always spend, on average, €54. So to find out 6 days, so his total spending, all we need to do is just multiply that by 6. Which will be 324. So over the course of the holiday, he spent €324. So then we've got to find out how much he had remaining for the amount he took. So leftover, we use how much he took there in the first place, and we take away how much he spent. And when we do that, we have left over €126. So that's how much he has left. Now, a lot of people go straight from here to doing their conversion but there is one key bit that we must remember. The bank only exchanges in multiples of 10 euros. So essentially, I want this number to end with a 0. Now, a common habit people do is that they just round to the nearest 10. But think, I can't suddenly exchange £130, 130 euros even, if all I have is 126. I'm not going to magic up 4 euros out of nowhere. So in this case, we always round down. So we always are going to round it down. So rounding down to the next 10, that is now going to be 120. So we can only exchange 120 euros. And now we can do our exchange rate. So that 120, because we're changing it to pounds, we're dividing. And that will give us 105.263 and a bunch of numbers. And rounding it to the nearest penny will be £105.26. And you should always write this slightly longer answer here before you do your rounding. That is really important, especially if you accidentally make a mistake. Even if you're super confident in rounding, people make dumb mistakes. Write out your number fully that's on your calculator and then do your rounding. It will help save marks when little errors may occur. Okay, so next one then. Same idea again. So Hayden went on holiday to Norway for a week. So we've got this week here. And he took 5,000 Norwegian krone. So that's how much he took total. Over the week, he spent on average 621 Norwegian krone each day. So every day, so 7 days, he spent 621. On his return, he changed his remaining Norwegian krone to pounds sterling. The bank would only change money in multiples of 10 Norwegian krones. And I apparently didn't finish writing this question. How much will he get from his remaining krone? Give your answer to the nearest penny. And really to say how many pound sterling will he get. But yeah, whoops, my bad. So, the bank would only exchange money in multiples of 10 Norwegian krone. So again, that's like before. And then we have our exchange rate there. So, same idea. We know what 1 day is. So every day he spent that 621. So our week, and remember that's just going to be the 7 days. Just got to multiply that by 7. Which will give us 4,347. Then we look at his leftovers. So we take that original amount there and we take this away. And so what we have left is going to be 653 krone. Then again, same as before, we want to round down to the nearest 10. We only want to round down, never up. And so that is what we're working with for our exchange rate. So doing the exchange rate, 650 divided by 13.17. And that will be 49.354 and so forth. But rounding that to the nearest penny, we got £49.35. Okay, and now last example. Jessica went to America on holiday for a fortnight. So just remember, a fortnight is the exact same as 14 days. She took 950 American dollars with her to spend. On each day, she spent an average of 62 American dollars. On a return, she changed her remaining dollars to pounds sterling. The bank would only change money in multiples of $10. Let's just redo that. And then we have our exchange rate here. How much in pounds sterling will Jessica get for her remaining dollars? Give your answer to the nearest penny. So same idea as before. We know how much they spend on one day. So across the fortnight, so across the 14 days, got to just multiply that by 14, which gives us 868. Find out the leftovers. So 950 take away 868, which will just be 82. And then rounding down, we're going to be dealing with 80. So then all we do next is just take the 80, divide by 1.23, and then that will give you 65.0406 and so forth. So to the nearest penny, that would just be £65.04. So these questions are big. They're really, really big and wordy, but actually there's not a huge amount of working you need to do for them. So it's just trying to make sure you don't get lost in all that writing. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. If you need any help, just ask.